Does it look fine? I don't know. Honestly, who cares? Last week, I did not realize until post-production just how sweaty I was. My goodness, it was uncomfortable for me to look at. So I can only imagine how uncomfortable it was for anyone else to look at. The thing was, I recorded it on a very hot day in Alaska. And for anyone that is unfamiliar with Alaskan homes, we don't have air conditioner. And I'm too cheap to go and install one myself. And if you remember how I went with the toilet seat last week, you can also see why maybe I wouldn't want to get something else that I have to install personally. Yeah, so there's that. A lot of embarrassment to be had and shared on this show, it turns out. I don't know what it was. It must have been, and this is the coolest part of the house, for the record, is this shop. I have all the windows boarded up. Everything is insulated to keep it kind of cooler in here and warmer in the wintertime. Apparently that didn't matter because it looked like I was negotiating a hostage situation with how much I was sweating from my brow for almost the entire episode last week. And you know what? Your boy kept it. I was like, I ain't going to go record that again. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Okay. And so we just got to let the embarrassment fall where it may. And here we are. And I have a paper towel in my pocket just in case it gets a little sweaty again. I can't see because the camera's so far away. I can't tell if my brow is just drenched in sweat. I can't see. We just got to see how it plays out and hope for the best. Okay. So I guess what I'm saying, as far as last week's sweatisode, the sweaty episode is what I'm calling it. I'm sorry for this.
I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for this.
My friend Tony is texting me while I'm recording this episode. Shout out to the confessionals. Welcome back to whatever the this is. I'm recording on a Sunday. You may hear that there's some nasally issues going on with my nose. I have a toddler, which means that whenever he goes to the playground, I end up with a cold. So, is that because his grandpa refuses to bring hand sanitizer with him? Yes. Am I the one that suffers because of that? Yes. It's fine. Honestly, he's a kid. He's going to touch every single surface that he sees until he's about 8 to 10 years old. And then from there on out, he's just going to hate me. I think that's what kids do. In the meantime, me, someone that is nonstop working all the time, I get the joy of having the cold or the flu or whatever. And that's fine, I guess. I just have to deal with that. I just get to be miserable forever. What a treat. What a treat. I feel like my glasses are dirty, so I'm going to clean these. You get to enjoy that. Oof. So you may have noticed that I was finally able to get a haircut, and I've been saying it for a few weeks, and I finally pulled it off, and I can feel air on my head again, which is great. Downside of that is that I also have a melon-shaped head where it's just way too large, and so that gets a little more exposed when the hair comes off, you know? Less of a bicycle helmet, but still a gigantic melon. I remember being made fun of in grade school by the kids because of the shape of my head, and they called me Scotosaurus. And some things just stick with you forever, you know, and that's one of them. And now I get to live that again because the people of the internet, friends, family, loved ones, strangers, are going to be like, oh, Scotosaurus. Doesn't really hit as hard as it used to when I was a child, obviously. I'm a grown man now. Still just as sensitive, but apparently not to Scotosaurus. And that's fine. I don't know what the deal is with the trucks that have 6 wheels, but for whatever reason, they annoy the crap out of me. Yeah, you know the ones where it's like way too much junk in the trunk. And for me personally, I guess I just don't get it. It drives me insane. And it's something that obviously there's no reason for it to drive me insane. It's literally just a vehicle that people drive, but it's the actions. You know, like number one, the people that drive these trucks, slow, constantly, very slow. And why do you have 6 wheels? Why is there 4 wheels on the back? The 4 wheels on the back drive me crazy because you can't ever stay in your lane. Okay, the people driving these trucks don't know how to stay in their lane. And so I'm behind them and I'm breathing the fumes from whatever's coming out the exhaust. And it's disgusting constantly. Every single time I'm behind a 6-wheel truck, that's what I have to deal with. Is exhaust fumes, not being able to stay in your lane, and the obnoxious sound to get to 8 miles an hour. You guys know the sound. That's the sound it makes, and you're getting to 8 miles an hour. You know why? Because I'm going 6 and I'm behind you. And it's just constantly going 8 miles an hour. And the thing is, you're not even towing anything. You're not using it for its potential. You're just driving to Walmart, just constantly, and it drives me crazy because I'm always behind you and somehow you always cut in front of me, and I don't know how that always happens, but it always does. And so I'm always behind you listening to that obnoxious sound on your way to Walmart, towing nothing, and you're driving a big truck. Why get a normal car? Oh, you're going to Walmart? Get a normal car. Take a normal car. Yeah, I decide things now. I know what you're saying. Hey, Scott, that's not your decision to make. Some people just love gigantic trucks. Cool. Congrats. Drive them somewhere else. Hey, take the back roads. Hey, you got a nice 4x4. How about you take the back roads? How about you take the scenic route and leave us in the Ford Escapes to drive to Walmart in peace, you know? Or at the very least, don't pull out in front of people and just go 8 miles an hour. Why does it sound like a car that can go super fast? You have a lot of horsepower behind you, but it goes 8 miles an hour. You know? Explain that to me. Explain to me why the big truck that sounds like it's in the, if you close your eyes, it sounds like you're going 80 miles an hour with just the sound alone. And then you open it up and you're like, oh, we're actually still standing still. Oh, we're still stopped at the red light. Didn't realize that. Yeah. Sounded like we were going super fast. But it wasn't. It was your truck idling in front of me, pushing stinky fumes into my car. And that drives me insane. And big truck drivers are crazy. And I know plenty of good people that are big truck drivers. Okay? So I know that this is kind of it's an irrational thought for me. But I'm not sure. Are you aware of what the show is? It's me complaining about things that don't make sense. Okay? And that's what this is. It doesn't make sense. And if you drive a big truck and you're not hauling things constantly, and you're just driving to Walmart, or you're just going to the mailbox, and there's no reason for that. Okay? Turn that shit off. Turn it off. Okay, I got a neighbor like 2 houses down that he will wake the dead preheating his vehicle, but every morning before he leaves. And I'm not just talking the dead of winter. Okay? It's the dead of summer as well. Is that a term? The dead of summer? Is it the life of summer? What is it? What is the term for summer? What's the opposite for summer? The life of summer. It's the heat of summer. It's the heat of summer, right? Still auto starting his truck. And his truck is loud enough to wake the dead. Okay? And the entire neighborhood can hear his truck idling for 25 minutes before he leaves the driveway. And it sucks now, but it sucked even more when my kid is trying to sleep and he had naps and everything like that, and just down the street. Why? Why do you do that? You've got to know, as an owner of one of those trucks, you have to know in your heart of hearts how obnoxious that sound is, right? You honestly can't be sitting in the kitchen sipping your coffee outside where your truck's on and thinking, people got to love this, right? People really got to appreciate this sound that I'm blasting through the neighborhood. I'm sure there's not a single baby trying to sleep in this neighborhood. And I'm sure there's not a single grown man losing his mind, peeking out the windows. I'm sure that doesn't happen, having intrusive thoughts left and right about the various ways he could take your life. I'm sure that never happens. Not one time. And I'm sure that person that has those thoughts isn't proud of those thoughts, but admits to having them all the same. It's fine. So I guess what I'm saying is I've had a vendetta with truck drivers for a long time. And I used to be a truck driver. Granted, it was a smaller truck, but I still drove one. And I think I hated truck drivers while I owned that truck too. So it's a very interesting predicament I find my brain in. But that's fine. That's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about truck drivers, even though technically we kind of are. I don't know. I got stuck behind one after getting my coffee on the way home, driving through 6 miles of construction. This state is the only state I've seen where the construction is literally just endless. You think the summertime is going to be a great time to be out in Alaska. You are wrong, okay? Mosquitoes. Construction. Being stuck behind trucks with 6 wheels for some reason. These things happen. But no, there in Wasilla especially, there is like 8 different construction sites at the moment that have been going on for 2+ years. And you're like, hey, is it ever going to be finished? Are we ever going to be done with this? Because there's not a single direction that I can drive without running into construction. And like clockwork, every single time I pass a construction site, you want to know what I see? I see about 15 dudes wearing the shiny reflective vests, and they're all standing there, and 99% of them are looking down at their phones. What you doing? Hey, construct. You know? Construct. Construct. You can text your boyfriends later. Construct. For now, construct. Let's finish this. Let's finish this so there's multiple lanes so that if I'm stuck behind one of them trucks, I can just drive past them and go 15 miles an hour. Wouldn't that be something? I think so. But here we are. Here we are. Endless construction in the state of Alaska. But what can you do? Nothing, because I'm not a construction guy. But I think actually, now that I've witnessed multiple construction zones, I think I'd be perfect for the construction sites. If all I got to do is stare at my phone and stand in the middle of a dirt pile. My toddler could do that. My son could be a foreman on a construction site just with his perfect ability to stand in dirt and look at phones. Hire him. Construct. Yeah? Let's construct. Now that we got all the big truck construction talk out of the way, guys, I was shopping at Cars the other day and I saw Eggnog. And I need to reiterate that it's July. Okay? We're in July right now. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening. Okay, this is the first time in my life that I've been shopping at a grocery store in July and I've seen eggnog. And hey, don't get me wrong. Your boy is a fan of the nog. All right? I love eggnog. It is my jam. It is my go-to seasonal beverage. But guess what? I don't need to feel like a fat ass in July. Okay, it's bad enough. I already gained 50 pounds during the holidays. You really going to jumpstart that process in July? No, I can't do it. You know why? Don't have self-control. Maybe you've noticed your boy doesn't have self-control. And if you put an entire end cap of eggnog, guess who's going to buy the eggnog? This guy. Guess who didn't, though? This guy. So I guess I need to avoid Cars. A little less weird, but I went to Walmart like a day later and I saw Halloween candy out. It's July. Still. What are we doing with Halloween candy out in July? Is that always when Halloween candy has come out? Because this is new to me. Maybe I'm not looking properly, but like, I thought it came out maybe September, maybe early October. I have never seen Halloween candy in July. Is it to the point now where we're just like, no, give them everything now. They're fat asses. Give them everything. Put everything out. Let the people choose what they want to eat when they want to eat it. Do it now. Is that it? Have consumers become just fat asses? Who's stocking up on Halloween candy in July? And if you are, what's wrong with you? What you doing? You can't have a normal Reese's cup? You got to get the pumpkin-shaped ones? You know that person's going self-checkout too. You know every single person that grabs the Halloween candy or the eggnog, we'll do both, is using self-checkout. You know why? Because they don't want the judgment of the cashier being like, I know it's out there, but really? Really? Now you're going to use the Halloween candies now? You're not saving these till Halloween. Look me in the eyes. Tell me you're saving these till Halloween. You're going to get in your car. You're going to open that bad boy. Yeah, there's 4 of them in there. Why not just take a little off the top? Yeah, exactly. And that's fine. I mean, honestly, do what you want to do. I'm just saying there's going to be some judgment. There's got to be some judgment. If I went over to a friend's house and I cracked open the fridge and I see a half gallon of eggnog, I may or may not ever talk to that man again. And again, I love eggnog, but it's like a principle thing. It's a principle matter. You got to be like, you know what? This is not good human behavior. I got to cut you off. Sorry, Steve. It's got to be done. It just struck me. Maybe I'm just oblivious to this. Maybe it's something that happens every year. But July feels like a weird time to put out both Halloween candy and eggnog. I don't know. What can you do? Honestly, it's all marketing, right? It's all just capitalism. It's some dude in an office being like, oh, I haven't had Christmas in July. Heard of it? Get the eggnog. Call up Lucerne. Have them make a batch of eggnog for us right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Old-fashioned stuff, too. Get it going. Get it going. We'll let it sit around until December. Why not? Why not? They'll buy it. They'll buy anything. Look at them. Look at them just sludging around. Look at them all in their little electric carts wheeling into cars. Yeah. They'll buy it. Of course they'll buy it. You got to be crazy to think they're not going to buy this. Marketing. Marketing and I've had this conversation with a few people. I believe that marketing is the absolute root of all evil. I do. Which is weird because you can't, like, as someone that has had a business and a podcast and other things where I need to use marketing, suck at it, but need to use it. You know, you need to use marketing to gain exposure to the markets, right? That's what you want. You have a business, you want people to buy your product. What do? You lie to them to get them to buy it. You tell them they absolutely need this product. You need this product. That's why my business failed. I had a beard care business, and I still technically do at the time of recording, but I am strongly considering just throwing in the towel. Number one, there's no sales. And part of the reason is because I hate marketing, because marketing is lying. It's professional lying to make money off people that don't actually need your product, but believe they need your product because you tell them they do. It's just not honest. It's not honest. And I've struggled with that the entire time I've had a business is marketing. Because you're just like, especially look, beard oil, right? You don't need beard oil. Your beard will be fine without it. It will be. Just wash it. Ta-da. You're fine. But no, I have to tell people your beard won't ever be as good if you don't use this product. But wait, there's more. You don't need just this product. I've made 14 other products that you absolutely also need. Isn't that something? Isn't that something that no matter what I release, you need it? Yeah. And it's just never felt sincere. It's always been like a cash grab. It's the same with everything. Look at any product in the world. It's marketed as some miracle. You need this product. And you don't. You don't need any of it. Water. Water is probably the only thing that is marketed properly. You need this. You need this. You will die if you don't have this. Drink water. But see, there's no commercials for water because everyone knows that if you don't drink water, you're going to die. Nobody knows that if you don't use beard oil, you're going to die. Yeah, little known fact. Did you know if you don't use my products, you're going to die? That's crazy, right? Anything. Watch any commercial. They are trying to pitch you on something. They're trying to sell you on something that you don't actually need. And that's obnoxious. And the older I get, the more pissed I get at it. Because I'm a victim of it. Half the time, I won't even finish a commercial. I'll be like, you're right, I need that. You're right, I need that. I have a shopping problem, spending problem. Not a need. It's not a necessity. It's this makes me feel good for 3 seconds when it shows up on my door. Yeah. The old retail therapy. Guess what? That's bad for your wallet. And you're making tons of people rich. But not you. No, you suffer. It's fine. I don't know. The more I think about marketing, and I think about this way too often, it's something that literally crosses my mind probably like once every couple of months. And for the record, that's 6 times a year that I'm thinking about how evil marketing is, which is way too often. Okay? I don't even think about how I can improve my health 6 times a year. I think I'm dying at least 6 times a year, but I don't think at least 6 times a year can I improve my health in some way. How can I troubleshoot this to where I am in better health? Never once thought about that. You know what I do think about? Going and finding products that'll improve my health without me doing anything. Hey, marketing. Again, we're back at square one. They did it, but it's okay for me to hate them even though I give in to the process. It's fine. God, I hate being sick, and I hate the fact that it takes like 3 weeks to recover from a sickness, to fully recover from a sickness, you know what I mean? Where I can feel fine after day 2 or 3, and then for the next 8 years of my life, I'm stuffy, and I sound like this, and I sound absolutely horrendous. And there's people that are just they're not very like courteous when they're sick. You know, when I'm sick, I carry hand sanitizer around everywhere. If I go to work, that's a big if I go to work, I'm wiping down surfaces that I touched, squirting the hand sanitizer so that people around me my coworkers don't have to suffer through what I've suffered through. But for whatever reason, when other people are sick, I've noticed they just honestly don't give a shoot. They're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to stand this far away from you and have a conversation. I'm going to open your mouth and breathe directly into it. We're going to get as intimate as we can, more intimate than we've ever been in our lives when I'm sick, exclusively when I'm sick. Like, I'll have people come up to my desk and like hover over me with a sheet of paper and be like, oh, what I need you to do, if you'll notice right here. Anyway, yeah, you could just read it, I guess. And then they walk off. And you're like, hey, cool, thanks. I guess I have the flu. Hey, guess who now has the flu? It's me. Because of you. Isn't that nice? No, if you're sick, call out. And if you have a boss that doesn't want you to call out or gives you shit, hey, go into his office and cough 10 times around him. I promise you, they're going to send you home. Like, oh God, because they don't want to be sick either. No, they want the little worker bees to keep working around, but they don't want to be sick. And so if you threaten their health, I guess, in a way, then they're like, oh, no, maybe you should just go home. Just go home. It's fine. But don't come and breathe on me. Don't do that. All right? People that stand way too close to you in general are the worst, but people that do it when they're sick, even worse. Even worse. Somehow, even worse. Yeah. There's so many people in my life that just stand way too close to me and talk. Way too close to me. Hey, just give me a bubble. Just put a bubble around me. Hey, guess what? I can hear you. Whether you're 18 inches away from my face or 3 feet, guess what? I can still hear you. And I'm deaf. So you're going to need to speak up regardless of the location in which you're standing in my vicinity. Okay? It's going to need to happen one way or another. Just speak loud and be away from me. Speak loud, be away from me. If you want to hug me, cool. Do that. And then back up. Go in for the hug and then back up. Personal space, Have you heard of it? Have you heard of it when you're sick as well? Because that's when it matters most. And I can't help but notice that nobody actually does that. Or do I just attract people that are close talkers? Like the annoying coworker that I have, that I mentioned before, the wildly racist one that is way too loud. He likes to stand this close to me and have a conversation. And I say, hey, off. Are we supposed to kiss? Is this romance? What's happening? Why, in what world is this not an invasion of personal space? Hey, Scott. No, I got your meals from 6 weeks ago flying out of your teeth and hitting me in the eyeballs. I don't need that. Yeah, I don't need that. Just take a step back. Step away from me. Okay? It's really very simple. I think this is common courtesy stuff. I don't even think I should be saying this because this feels like a common sense issue. Like you should be like, hey, I feel like I'm way too close to this guy's face. I shouldn't be able to see the intricate details of his irises. Maybe I should step back. But here we are. Here we are, and you're looking longingly into my eyeballs like we're about to and guess what? We're not. Okay? We're not. Back off. I know it seems pretty intense. It felt pretty intense for me, but also I feel like it needed to be said, We're at the point in time, we're all adults. Some things need to be said. My son can be this far away from me and telling me a secret. That's fine. I'll get the flu from him. It's going to happen regardless. Okay? It's going to happen regardless. But a grown man? No. No, you should know better. You should probably know better. You should probably know better. Step 8 to 10 feet away from me. I would prefer you stand at the other end of the room and shout what you need to me than have you even 3 feet away from me. If I don't like you, I don't want you anywhere near me. Full stop. But I definitely don't need you this close. Unless we're about to make out, no. No, I don't need you this close. Does anyone else hate being in group chats? Because I do. And I think so many of us actually do hate being in group chats. And let me ask everyone that may stumble across this video, do you mute every single group chat that you're part of? Yes or yes? Because I for sure do. Because I don't need 16 text notifications coming in at once because everyone wants to give their 2 cents on whatever it is we're talking about. Hey, what do you want for dinner? No, I don't like this. Ding, 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 ding. No. knock it off. Knock it off. Okay? If we're in a group chat, 100% I promise you, it's muted. Even when I see there's an indicator showing a little icon that there's an unread message in that group chat, I know it's not important. I search my heart for 3 to 5 seconds and I say, probably not important. I can't imagine a world where this is important. And when I finally do get around to opening that message, guess what? Guess who was right? It's your boy. Guess who's clairvoyant? It's this guy. Yeah, guess who has psychic abilities? Me. And I actually do have psychic abilities. I don't talk about that very often, but it's very strange. It's very strange. But it's not even in like the way that cool psychic abilities happen. You know, where you're like, oh, yes, I see the future. No, I see the future in 3 to 5 second increments. So not even like enough time to buy lottery tickets or anything cool like that. I see things that are about to happen right before they happen. A couple examples. One time, and this was only a few weeks ago, maybe it was a few months. Who knows anymore, right? I was driving down Parks Highway in Wasilla, and I was approaching a stoplight. The light was green for me. At the corner, there was a woman carrying several boxes. Just like this. Staring down the street where I'm coming from. Me and, by the way, like 50 other cars. In my head, when I see this woman, I think it'd be really weird if she started to run across the street right now. Now, there's no reason for me to think that. Why did I think that? But, lo and behold, 3 to 5 seconds later, what does she do? She starts bolting across the street right when I'm crossing. I would have barreled into her if I wasn't already somehow prepared for that moment. So I swerve out of the way. But yeah, number one, why would I randomly think that? Why did that thought randomly just pop into my head 3 to 5 seconds before this woman takes off across the street when, number one, jaywalking, illegal. Number two, the light wasn't green for you. And there was 1,000 cars coming your way. And you're holding boxes. This isn't Frogger, lady. All right? There are lives at stake. Okay, but why did I think that? Why did that thought pop up here? And why does that happen more often than not? Is it divine? Is it a sign from God, which I'll get into in a second? Or is it just some kind of weird hive consciousness thing where it's like I tapped into the fact that she was thinking about running and my brain was like, wouldn't that be weird? Why would she do that? And then she did that. Right? That's one example. Another example is when I was living in Vegas, I was driving my truck and I was going up one of those kind of circle-y on-ramps and it was raining outside. And as I was about to get onto the on-ramp or start my ascent up this ramp, I had the thought of, I'm trying to think of what the exact, it might have been, it was either an image or it was a thought of, wouldn't it be crazy if I like fishtail? And so I was extra cautious because I knew, I was like, had this random thought like, oh, I'm going to fishtail. And so it's pouring rain. I start my ascent up this ramp. And what happens? I fishtail. Again, 3 to 5 seconds later. So can't really do anything with seeing the future that soon, but it is pretty wild. And that's 2 out of a million examples that have happened. But I did mention a second ago signs from God, and I feel like I should get this out there. People that may stumble across this, or anyone that is aware of what this show has been for the last few episodes, which as of right now is me and my son. There was an interesting, I guess I should say, part of the reason I started this show is because I have been going through some mental issues. And it's always kind of taboo to talk about mental stuff when you're experiencing it. Like anything else you talk about, fine. People are like kind of sympathetic and they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. But if you start saying like, oh, I'm just experiencing burnout and I'm stressed out and I'm freaking out and that kind of taxes on my mental state, you know? And people are like, oh, there's like this weird taboo where it's like, oh, don't say that. I usually listen to podcasts or music on my way home from work to unwind. This past week on Wednesday, instead of doing that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drive home. And the entire time I'm driving, I'm just going to pray. I don't pray too often out loud in the middle of the day. So it's like, what a great time to do that. So I'm driving home and it's like a 35-minute drive from my work to my house. And the entire time, I'd say about 25 minutes, I'm praying just out loud, pretty much complaining about the state of my life at the moment, saying, I don't know what I'm doing. Everything that I touch kind of just turns to absolute garbage. I have no hope in any of my projects. Everything is just weighing on me and I feel like it's a burden. And I said, I don't feel like God's hand is on anything that I do. And it just exhausts me. Like I do too much, and to be doing too much and also not feeling anything is working, you feel helpless. You feel helpless. And so I was praying. I was like, God, whatever you want me to do, just you got to tell me and you got to show me in ways that are not just me. Because when it's me, it falls apart. When it's you and it's thought out and it's like a divine purpose, then things work out because the creator of the known universe is at the helm. When it's Scott, things break and things fall apart constantly, nonstop, all the time, forever. So I gave it up and I was like, hey, everything I've been doing, I've been trying to do on my own and trying to create my own destiny, I guess. And that just never works out. And it never has worked out. But every time I've given it to God and been like, hey, you take the reins on this. If you want it to succeed, help me with it. If you want it to fail, then just have me lose interest in it altogether. Every time I've done that, that works out. But pretty much just calling out to God, being like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I need help. So I feel like you haven't been there on anything I've been doing. So you lead the way and I'll just follow. And as I'm concluding this, I'm saying that I need some kind of sign, but I'm not the guy that needs a really subtle sign, like a whisper, like, oh, you need to go do this. Because I second guess everything and I overthink everything in my own head. So I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. I need a sign that is like someone slapped the back of my head and was like, hey, this is what you need to do. All right, chill out. It's going to be fine. And then I'm concluding my prayer as I'm pulling up to a stoplight. I'm entering Wasilla. Just finished my prayer 10 to 15 seconds ago. And I happen to look down. I'm behind a truck, not one of the 6-wheel trucks, thankfully, right? I'm behind a truck and I look down at the license plate and it's PSLM22. And I laugh. And I laugh and laugh and laugh. Anyone that's not aware, I'll probably put it up right here, somewhere over here, whatever. It's Psalm 22, which is the "My God, why have you forsaken me" psalm. And I was like, ha, he's listening. And was that helpful in terms of what direction I take my life? No. But was it helpful to know that God was up there listening when I was in a moment of weakness and breaking down in my car on the way home, not knowing what to do with my life? Yes. Because the whole purpose of that is I feel like God has forsaken me, but I also know that God is with me and God will provide and take care of me. So, and I just wanted to share that. I've had a lot of crazy, miraculous things happen in my life that kind of solidified my faith. And I know I'm probably one of the worst examples of Christianity walking the earth at the moment, outside of like Westboro Baptist. Those people might take the cake. But when things like this happen, I do have to share them. And I have to share them because a lot of people just think it's all hokey or it's all, oh, you're talking to Sky Daddy, are you? Ooh, what's he say? And then they go light candles and pray to some squirrel god or something. And you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm the weird one. But it's fine. I just wanted to share that because it was a very touching moment for me. Because it made me feel heard in a time in my life where I, number one, don't feel heard. I feel like I'm being walked on in every aspect of my life. I feel like everything I put my hand to crumbles. I feel like I have no direction in life. And I feel like giving up on everything. So the little nugget from God is very helpful, regardless of what you think of that or whether you believe it or not. That's not me. But I did have to take a picture of this guy's license plate. And I wish I would have done it when we were actually at the light, but I thought about it as we were driving forward. I'm like, I should probably take a picture of this because no one's going to believe this. And I did. Psalm 22. Ironic. What are the odds? I just thought, like, of all the turns that this dude was going to make in that day, I'm driving from 35 minutes away. This dude probably left his house, is turning left, right, center, going straight. He's back here. He got stopped up at construction site number 4,000. He's doing this, all this, blah, blah, blah. I'm driving home on the freeway. I get behind this car, blah, blah, blah. I speed past this person, do this, X, Y, Z, and I end up behind this dude's truck at the moment that I absolutely needed to see that. So, you can call that a wild coincidence. You'll never catch me calling that a wild coincidence because I'm not a moron. And I can acknowledge signs from the Lord. So, there's that. What a fun story. I got tagged in on Facebook. Apparently the trailer for season 5 of Stranger Things finally dropped. And I tell you what, these are going to be some 40-year-old teenagers by the time this show actually comes out. If the plot of season 5 of Stranger Things is not the gang goes out to the supermarket to get more ginger candies, because their retirement home is run dry. Or maybe butterscotch discs. That would work as well. Soft ginger candies, I heard, is also good. But no, old people with ginger candies, a little gummy on the teeth. And I say that as someone that has horrible teeth. So, but yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I love Stranger Things, okay? But you guys took 15 years to get season 5 out. Okay, these 8-year-olds are going to be 48 years old with, 2 mortgages and lifelong depression at this point. Okay, they're going to have crow's feet like a motherfucker. And there's no way they don't. Absolutely no way they don't. I'm still going to watch it. I love Stranger Things. What a great show. What a great show. I am a little disappointed that it took forever for this to come out. And I got to the point where I was like, it's probably never going to come out, right? Because they're all in retirement homes. Because they're all geriatric. My mom's a geriatric fans. They're back. Should we close it out on a couple voicemails? We have a couple, right? Yeah, let's just do that. That's fine. Do I have from this? Okay. Yeah. No, we can do that.
Hey, yeah. So, I'm not sure if this is the right number, but someone told me that you give advice. What? Yeah, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. Just regular macaroni, Greg.
Great start.
Damn it, let me do this. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got a bit of a situation. I recently bought a goldfish for my nephew, right? Just a normal little orange dude. We named him Lenny. But the thing is, Lenny talks. Not like in a cute Pixar way. I'm talking deep, Latin sounding stuff. Chanting. Low voice, lots of guttural sounds. And here's the real kicker. He only does it when the lights are off. I recorded it once and played it backwards, and I'm pretty sure it said something like...
Is this real?
I gotta find this. Yeah, it sounded like release the seventh spine, the mouth beneath the sea is waking. So, now my nephew's scared of bathtubs, and honestly, same. I tried to flush Lenny once, and the water in the bowl just hardened, like a gel almost. It hummed. So I guess I'm wondering, do I confront Lenny directly, or is it better to get like a second goldfish, maybe like a good one to cancel out whatever Lenny's doing? Like spiritual noise canceling headphones, but for fish. Any advice would be just greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Was that real? Was that a real voicemail we got? So, great name, by the way, Lenny for goldfish killer. Now, as far as advice goes, I don't know. Maybe get a second goldfish. Maybe Lenny is just lonely. But I can't imagine that. It sounds like you might have a problem with some form of ancient god. I don't think Lenny is Lenny. Yeah, maybe get a second goldfish. That'll do it. What could possibly go wrong? Unless Lenny recruits the second goldfish into the weird ancient god cult. And then you have 2 of these. I don't know how to get rid of it. You tried flushing and that didn't seem to work. So maybe just submit to the will of the goldfish. Is this real, dude? These are real voicemails that we get? Maybe we shouldn't mask the callers. I'm not here to judge. I'm not sure, but that definitely didn't feel real, Let's have another.
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. I live in a duplex out in Boise, nothing fancy. But last week I noticed a new door in my pantry, just there one morning. I swear it wasn't there before. It's small, maybe 4 feet high, and covered in frost on the inside, and sometimes it knocks back. I opened it once, just a crack. There was a blue glow and the sound of thousands of people screaming in perfect unison. Can you imagine? Beautiful harmonies. Like if a barbershop quartet got stuck in hell and learned jazz. Since then, I've had 3 separate Airbnbers request to stay in the pantry. One of them left a review that just said, "She forgives you." I'm torn, man. On one hand, ethically, it feels wrong to let people stay in the screaming room. And on the other hand, it pays really well. And Boise rent is, well, it is what it is. So what would you do? Open a portal-themed B&B or seal it up and try to forget the music of the anguished choir? Toodles.
Wow. Wow. So, okay, first things first, obviously, make that cheddar, homie. You know, in this economy, I don't care what the portal to the damned or not. If people are requesting the room, you give them the room, you know? A 4-foot door in the pantry or otherwise. Yeah. Strange. And that one definitely sounded real. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think we might need to screen these calls a little better, dude. There's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way. And I'm someone that believes in a lot of crazy things. You know that. You know that. But the portal to the damned, hell's choir in someone's pantry, she forgives you, I just doesn't sit right with me. If for whatever reason this is accurate and this is really a thing, even though I know we're getting trolled, knew that would happen, huh? Yeah, who said it was a great idea for the voicemail? Yeah, who said we were going to get trolled constantly? Yeah, so here we are. But I'm going to give you advice either way. Make that money. Get that paper. In this economy, you need to make that money. You need to provide. And if that's via the magic of a 4-foot portal door in your pantry, then do that. Okay? People will pay extra for the novelty of it, you know? The theme. What would normally be a $100 Hobbit Airbnb is now upgraded to a $300 lived experience fantasy Airbnb with actual specters. Okay, people pay top dollar for that shit. Honestly, I say go for it. I say open that Airbnb. Get it. Make that money while you can, because you never know if the entire situation is a poltergeist situation where the house ends up collapsing upon itself at the end. Can't have that. You might as well get paid in the process, you know? Make the money while you can before you get dragged to hell. Now, I feel like that's the end of it. Is there more? Did you listen to them? Did you screen any of these? Okay, see, that's the issue number. We're gonna start screening these. So for the time being, that should do it. And I don't know how to end this episode, so I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry for this.
I'm sorry for this.